If you wake up in the morning feeling stiff, or just feel tight after a long day, but find yourself short on time, this quick, feel-good yoga mobility flow is for you. This full body stretch session will move your joints through their full range of motion, helping you keep your body limber and joints healthy and fluid so you can go about your day feeling fresh, open, and energized. If you're ready, please join me on the mat. Hi there, I'm Chelsea with Ascend Your Asana Yoga. And for today's class, we're going to get started in a child's pose. So take your knees nice and wide and walk your hands forward. Allow your frontal lobe to gently rest on the mat below. Maybe close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Start to feel the natural rhythms of your breath. Slow inhalations in and gentle exhalations out. And at this time, walk your hands over slowly to the left side of your mat and just breathe life into that right side body. Taking note of any tension you feel in the upper back or the shoulders. And then walk your hands over to the right side now. Breathing life into your lower back, your hips, and that left side body. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back to center. We're going to do a slow spinal roll up and forward into upward facing dog. Lift those knees off the mat before dropping them back down and sending yourself into child's pose. Inhale as you round forward once again, upward facing dog. And exhale, send your hips back, child's pose. Round forward, puffing through the upper back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, release back down. Roll forward again. Feel free to move at your own pace and with your own breath. Just slowly waking up the spine now. Let's pause here a moment and just slowly dip your hips from side to side, kind of swaying that lower back. And just notice if there's any tension releasing out of this area. Really breathe life into that back. Now pause on the left side and then switch over and pause on the right. And then slowly allow yourself to release onto your belly. Push the backs of your feet into the mat for Cobra pose. And inhale, rise up into Cobra, and exhale, release back down. Inhale, rise up using the back and core muscles to rise. Very little of this is in your hands and arms. Really engage that back to rise up. And slowly release back down. Head hangs heavy until the top. Inhale. And see if you can bend those knees now and point those toes and hold in this upward cobra. Breathe. And then you can release back down. Excellent job. Come into Sphinx pose on those forearms. And we're going to stretch our left leg out to the side, forming a 90-degree angle with that leg. And we're going to inhale that left arm up to the sky and then thread it under the body, dropping that shoulder to the mat. Let's inhale, bring it back up. Once again, gaze over those left fingertips. Exhale, release it under the body. Feeling that stretch through that thoracic spine. Inhale as you come up. And exhale, release back down, feeling the stretch through that left hip now. And let's pause at the bottom and gently breathe through this stretch. You should feel a nice opening through that left hip. Let's return to center and start lifting that left heel off the mat. Nice internal rotation of that hip joint here. We're just going to lift that left heel and rotate through this joint. This internal rotation of the hip is something that we don't normally get in our everyday activities. So this is just really helpful to keep those hip joints healthy. And we can pause at this time, press that left knee into the mat and the back of the right foot into the mat, and lift your pelvis off the ground. Engage that core, puffing through the back, and just hold here a moment. Pushing your back of that right foot into the mat, and then slowly release back down. We're going to continue this exercise on the right side, so bring that right knee out, forming a 90-degree angle. Inhale that right arm up to the sky, and exhale, thread it underneath the body. Inhale, arm up to the sky, and exhale, release under. Let's do one more. Inhale, arm up, and exhale, release, threading it under, this time dropping that right shoulder to the mat, and just releasing and breathing into this stretch. And release. This time we're going to start lifting that right heel up. So lift it up, internally rotating that right hip. You should feel it through that right hip when you're doing this. And just slowly bring it up and down. Continuing to breathe here. And now let's press that back of the left foot firmly into the mat. Push that right knee into the mat and lift that pelvis off the mat. Pushing those forearms into the mat and engaging that core. Hold here a moment. And then release. Excellent. Now we're going to come up into a low yogic squat and start working our feet through their full range of motion. So keep your spine nice and long. Come up onto those toes in this low yogic squat. Hold here a moment before releasing back down and dropping and releasing into a half boat pose. Only for a moment, we're going to come back up, low yogic squat, come onto those toes, and slowly release, low boat pose. Keep that spine long, drop the feet, rise back up, low yogic squat, high on those toes if you can, and release once again, half boat pose. Inhale, come up. Really stretching into those feet here, and release. This time we're going to come into the full boat pose, so extend those legs long, arms come up overhead, core engaged, and spine nice and straight. Now drop that left foot and see if you can bring that right foot up to help yourself come into a low lunge. Let's inhale our arms up to the sky, keeping those hips square with the front of your mat. Exhale, goddess arms, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And put those hands behind your head now. We're going to pivot over to the left side, back to center, and then twist over to the right. This movement is primarily in the upper back, so try to keep those hips square with the front of your mat. We're not moving our hips. This is strictly a spinal mobility exercise. So come to center, twist over to the left, back to center, and then over to the right. Really feel that stretch and movement through that spine. Now release your hands down, bring that left knee off the mat and come into this runner's lunge. And then just use your left foot to gently guide your weight back and forth in this pose. So shifting the weight forward and back using that left foot. Breathing through, feeling it through that left hip flexor. Now use your right arm and push that right hip open just a little bit more. Pushing it over to the right side. before releasing back down. Now pop up into pyramid pose and sink into that right knee. Now peel those right toes off the mat if you can and really breathe into that right hamstring. If you're ready, you can peel that left heel off the mat and bend that left knee, stretching it just a little bit more into that right hamstring. Excellent. And release. This time pivoting to face towards the edge of your mat and rise up. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, stretch it over to the left side if you're mirroring me. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, release over to the right side now. Deep inhale here. And exhale, release. Awesome job. We're going to come into that low lunge on with our left leg forward. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Hips square towards the front. And then exhale, cactus those arms. Squeezing those shoulder blades, opening that heart up to the sky. And then place your hands behind your head and let's start those twists again. So twist over to the left. Come back to center and then twist over to the right. Again, keeping those hips as square towards the front of the mat as you can, or I should say the back of the mat, and breathing through this movement. Twist over to the right, really feeling it in that thoracic spine, back to center, and then over to the left. Excellent job. Don't forget to breathe. Let's release our hands, come into that runner's lunge, pop that right knee off the mat, and use that right foot to shift your weight back and forth. So getting a little bit of ankle mobility here and foot mobility. Breathing into that right hip flexor. Now use your left hand and push that left knee open just a bit more. Awesome job. And then you can release your hands back to the mat. Pop that right leg up and come into pyramid pose. Exhale into that left knee. Now peel those left toes off the mat if you can and really get a nice hamstring stretch here. Now release. Let's bend that right knee, dropping our booty towards our right heel and really stretching a bit more into that left hamstring. Awesome job. And release back up. Walk your hands over to the center. And let's take our hands behind our back. Clasp them. Inhale. And then exhale. Release into this wide leg forward fold, allowing gravity to pull your hands up and overhead. And then just gently sway your weight back and forth. If you'd like, you can bend your knees and shift your weight from side to side here. Just kind of moving and breathing and doing what feels good for your body. Now take that right hand to the left ankle and inhale that left arm up to the sky, bending over into that left leg, and then switch. Left arm goes to right ankle, right arm comes up, bending into that right leg. And release. Excellent job. Let's slowly walk those feet together and face towards the front of our mats again. We're going to slowly lower down to the mat. So nice and controlled, lower down. We're going to come into a butterfly posture. So bring the soles of the feet together. You can keep them as close to your body as you need to, or pull them out if that's a little bit more comfortable. And we're going to do some cat-cows. So exhale as you puff through the back of the back, tucking your chin towards your chest. And inhale, pulling your chest through your arms, gaze overhead. Tuck it in as you exhale. And inhale, pull that heart forward, dropping that head. Exhale. And inhale, feeling this movement through the spine. Just moving with the pace of your own breath. Let's do one more. Exhale, round through the spine, tucking the chin. And inhale, heart forward, gaze above. And let's release. We're going to slowly lower onto our backs, slow and controlled. See if you can allow yourself to drop onto your back. Take your feet nice and wide towards the edges of your mats, toes pointed slightly inward, arms overhead, and we're just going to alternate dropping one knee in towards the other. So working on the mobility of those hips again. Just slowly windmill those knees back and forth. Drop that left knee, right knee opens, and then drop the right as you bring that left one open. And just keep this movement slow and controlled. Allowing your arms to hang heavy overhead. Gravity pulling your shoulders open. Excellent job. And when you're ready, we're just going to release into Savasana. So a nice quick class today. So extend those legs long and allow your arms to hang heavy at your sides. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Feel your shoulders release down towards your mat. Allow any tension to just drain out of the body towards the mat below. And return your attention towards your breathing. This is a great class to do on a daily or weekly basis to just keep your joints healthy and your body functioning at its prime. Once we start to lose mobility, it can become really difficult to do everyday tasks. So it's just important to prioritize that in your daily life. Now, once again, turn your attention inward and allow yourself to find stillness. As always, thank you so much for joining me for today's class. If you enjoyed this yoga flow, please like this video and subscribe for more content. I'll see you next time.